Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're going to be doing bypass Azure MFA with Evilginx. Um, so we're gonna do quite a lot of things such as creating our DNS. You will have to buy a domain for this. So that's there. You can buy a domain for like 99 cents, but if you're not gonna buy it and you're not gonna follow along, you can always just watch the video and you would have a decent understanding of what is going on. We're also gonna have make sure, or you guys should have, an Azure account. Um, and yeah, that is pretty much it. Just make sure you have this, and you can get like a $200 credit when you're signing up. So $200 for a month, so you're not gonna have to spend anything. Just always make sure you stop your machine when you're not using it, so you're not charged extra or anything like that happens. Um, yeah, that's about it. So reading the scenario, it says that we are on a red team engagement for the consumer, tech, Titan, Mega Big Tech. Social engineering, on-prem, and the cloud are all in scope. We have identified a target for our spear phishing. Can you show Mega Big Tech how their defenses may not be good enough? So learning outcome, set up and configure Evilginx phishing server, and capture login credentials using Evilginx. We'll start off with this, and then we'll do the rest in a bit more easier way using different types of tools. So starting off, I think I might explain a bit about how to create your own virtual machine. So I already have one made and I called it phishing, but you guys can create yours just by going to virtual machine and clicking on this create button, and Azure virtual machine should be good enough. Over here you can leave it as default and call it whatever you want. So mine was phishing, so this is where I wrote my um, virtual machine name, regions, keep the same, all good. And here you can select Kali. If it doesn't show up in this section, just click see all images and you'll find a area to pick Kali. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Keep everything default. I suggest using the authentication type as SSH. Um, yeah, I suggest that username. Mine is evil, but you can call it whatever you want. Make sure this is what's going to be used when you're SSHing or using SSH to get onto your VM. And yeah, just the key name, and that's it. When you create everything and you continue on, then it should give you an option to download the key and you will be able to connect. But I will just close this because I already have one made. On top of that, you should configure your network rules to allow connections to certain ports. But for the ease of just doing this lab, as well as not having any complications, I just did like one set rule, which is like allow any custom, allow any custom, any inbound, which is anybody can connect to any port type thing. So over here, same thing for allow ports, any to any, so we can, connect out as well. Just to put that there. Um, yeah, and another reason is because Evilginx will make use of certain ports. So I don't know exactly which one it is. I think it's 443 and 80, but it could be more. But just to like ease the whole process, I just did any and any. Um, so yeah, we can now start this. Actually, no. Let's get to our name server first. Over here, I bought a domain from Namecheap. You can get it for about like 99 cents, $2, $3, whatever you want. So what I got was office-portal.live, and once you've bought this, right, I'm not gonna obviously go through the buying phase of this, but you can just go to domains here and where is it? Domain name search, and you can buy whatever you want. Then go to your domain list over here. This should be in the account section, and then domain list. And then finally, you can just click on manage. And then from here, you can go to advanced DNS. And this is where you'll configure your DNS settings. This is where you'll have the hosts, which will be mentioned in the fishlet script that we will use in Evilginx, and as well as the value, which will be the public IP. So once you create this, you'll have a public IP that will be displayed over here, right over here. public IP address. This is the value that you would put in here, and make sure the TTL is in automatic. I would say go ahead, do this first, only due to the fact that it takes some time for all these things to be applied, because it just doesn't do it right away. So that's why I would say like do this and then go to the virtual machine. But yeah, it doesn't take long to set this up. So let's go ahead and start this. And it's starting the virtual machine, and it should be done soon, probably like 30 seconds. And the file that I downloaded was called phishing_key.pem. And yeah, this is the public IP, and this is the user's name that I added, Evil. One of the things that you're going to probably have to do is allow this machine to access public stuff. For example, if we use the command, I don't know, ks, you see how it gives us an option right here, command ks not found but can be installed with this, and then when you click yes, it will not work the first time. You would have to run some commands first, such as this. So right now I'm logged into Evil, as you can see right over here. Let me just open a new tab. You're going to have to run this on your own host machine. You would do this command, and then once this is done, you would do this. I'm just going to overwrite this, and then just do scp to copy something else. Copy your Kali-archive, and this will move it over there. So it's going to happen right now. And there we go, it's now moved. And we can confirm that with ls, and it is right over here. Then once it's moved over here, you're going to have to move this again, and this is the command that you would use, and you would move that to this area. There's two ways you could do it. Evil install the latest Evilginx binary from their GitHub, or just you would write, for example, Evilginx or Jinx, and you'll have the option over here to say command Evilginx2 from deb whatever, and you can just do sudo app install Evilginx2, and it will install that. And that's how I did it. Once you install it this way, right, instead of unzipping this file, if you install it the way that I did, your fishlets will be in a certain directory. These fishlets will actually have the setup for this, or the layout of the web page, you could say. So let's cd into that directory, which is this one right here. I'm also going to zoom in. That's probably a good idea. Perfect. And we'll see that I have a file over here. I'm just going to remove that. Actually, no, there's no need to. I'll just cat this. And if you guys want to get this file and download it, you can just do wget right here, and it will download this. So let's just cancel this and do 0365. Now over here at the top, it gives us a bunch of subdomains such as login, device.login, www, outlook, and a login. This is basically what we would put in this DNS section over here as host. You can also add device login, this. You also have www over here, which is mentioned. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or was this even there? 1, 2, 3, device login, outlook. Am I missing something? Oh no, it says login twice, that's why. Yeah, nothing to worry about. So 4 of it should be here, and you can also add cdn and at as well in there. So now let's get Evilginx started. All you're going to do is run Evilginx2, and P to define where the fishlets are, and this is the directory where we will keep them. It should automatically configure itself to the template that we just put, which is 0365 MFA, and then you would run the following commands. This with your external IP of your VM, the domain that you just bought, configure the domain. Next, for the fishlet, we have to put the host name, which is the same domain that you just bought, office-portal or /portal.live in my case. And then we're going to enable this template or fishlet. Now, you might have some difficulties when it comes to obtaining and setting up the TLS certifications. This usually is because you probably did this too fast and the setting is not configured in the DNS. In the public DNSs out there. I forgot what it's called, but yeah. It's not configured, and that's why it pretty much will not work, you know? So give this like 5-10 minutes and then try again, and hopefully it should work. Sometimes what happens is you could get flagged. Your domain can get flagged that you just bought due to, you know, I don't know if it's Namecheap but you would get flagged for being found that you're doing some phishing attacks or you have a malicious website, and that can happen as well. And for that type, it happened to me before, but all you have to do is just buy another host name and just start from there, and it should work. So here, the next command we can do is fishlet hide example. I just remembered that I'm going to click on lures. This will show us all the lures or the links that I have made before. I'm just going to go ahead and delete this because this was from before. Delete 0. Great. And sessions, I'm going to delete all as well. Great. Now we're going to create a lure. We can have as many lures as we want. And then we can see this new one is created. And we'll see that this is the old one which was deleted and it's not showing up anymore. And yeah, this is the new one. And now lures get URL. And then the ID of this, which is 0. 0 is right over here. And that is the link. And we can also turn blacklist off. Basically what happens is if you have any other machines which are scanning this IP or whatever, and they don't go to the exact location, they could be blacklisted or get rickrolled or whatever, which is the default setting for this, right over here. But yeah, we're just going to blacklist this and turn it off. Sorry, we're not going to blacklist this, but we're going to turn blacklist off so it doesn't blacklist them and stops their scan, because we're just doing this in a CTF environment. So yeah, now that we have the link, what's going to happen now is our email that we are going to send. But before that, we need to find a valid email format for this. If you've done Mega Big Tech CTFs before, you probably already know the answer for this, but say we don't know it, then this is the approach that we would take. So let's clear this and let us do there we go, locate username anarchy. And this is also something I should just zoom in on. And we can put Adrian Taylor over here. And we'll call this email 1 actually. Now from this, let us move, actually no, we'll keep this there, and let's go to our notes to look for ways that we can validate this recon. And let's go to valid email check. So let's use 0365 user finder. Locate Perfect. Let's use this tool, and I'm also going to do sudo python. And with this, it's just an R. We'll take this directory where we have well, email 1 should be here, no? Ooh, we cannot find this for some reason. Oh, it's in our own directory. Email 1.txt. And we have one result. And the second one is the full name. But yeah, we got two, whatever. From here, let's send the phishing email now. So for this, we can use ChatGPT as well. Write an email telling user to change password and to click the link. Usually you can make this more advanced or tailored to a specific user you're sending as. And yep, this is the email. And from here, I believe the name is Adrian. Please click the link below. Let us copy this. Copy selection. And yep, Adrian, we'll try with that. And we had another valid email. We can go ahead put that in. I don't think it makes a difference at all. But yeah, let's put that in as well. And reset your account password is showing up. We'll just go ahead and send that. Now is a waiting game. So now we just wait for them to click the link and do their stuff, and we should have a password. Just a bit of more notes on Evilginx. This is supposed to bypass MFA, but unfortunately the free version is not capable of that. It does get the token, but Microsoft is well aware of Evilginx, its abilities and all of that, and because of this, the token that we would get would become invalid. So basically Microsoft has its own way of dealing with it. And that's why, but the pro version or the paid version of this is harder to detect by Microsoft. So that is kind of it. And we have the user who clicked on the link. Now we just wait for them to input their credentials. And yeah, I don't think I need to explain the external IP that we kept and all of that. But yeah, we have got the credentials over here. And that is pretty much it. Let's write session. And it will show us this. Unfortunately, the token was not caught, but nevertheless, it was not going to work for us. Okay, I guess it was caught now. Okay, session. Alright, so let's view this now. I'll also show you guys that the token will not work, or these cookies will not work. So let's go ahead and exit out of this. I don't think we need anything else from this server at all. So to implement the cookies, all we got to do is go here. And we can go to, whoops, let's go over here and let's go to Microsoft. Microsoft login. let's just go over here. And I think it just logged in to something it shouldn't have. What is this? How come did it log us? Oh yeah, my bad. I should put this as this, and I should also sign out of this. Yeah. So forget about that. We were able to sign in because of a technique that was already implemented, or I kept it as before. But yeah, let's sign in. I don't think it will allow us to sign in right now, but yeah. So it's asking us for a password. Now we can use the cookies by making use of this thing called right over here. It's called cookie editor. We can go to import, and right here we would put the whole cookie that we copied and click import. Now once that is done, we can refresh this, and even though we have the cookie, it's not gonna allow. What is going on? It actually allowed us. Why was that the case? I think I should go to portal.azure, but let me log out of this real quick. And before I do, let me stop this machine. But yeah, this is kind of the error that we should be getting. We're just gonna fix this up real quick. I want to demonstrate this whole thing. So let's just wait till this stops. And great, it stopped. Now let's log out of this. Perfect. And we'll just use the same one. Signed out, portal, and it's asking us to log in. Let's take the cookies, click import, put the cookies, and now refresh. And it's saying it's already signed in for some reason. But yeah, so it failed. So Microsoft, you know, they know of the situation or this technique, and that's why it invalidates the token that was entered by Taylor during this authentication attempt, and a new token is given to Adrian Taylor. So yeah, that's kind of it for that. But there is another way that we can bypass MFA, and that's basically what I'm going to show you. First, and the way that we're going to do that is we're going to look for MFA gaps that exist. And we are going to find one. First of all, let's go to PowerShell. I'm going to run this as admin. Great. Now let's go cd and MCR. Perfect. All my tools are here. So the tool that we're going to use is find me access. I'm going to do script activate. Yeah, I'm going to do script activate to get inside of this environment. Find me access. You can also do it on your own machine or your Kali machine, but I'm going to use PowerShell for this. Just going to remove that, clear this, and remove this Adrian text file because we're going to make that from scratch. So let's visit the Find Me Access Git page, and I'm going to use my Kali machine for this. Find Me Access. And the command that we are going to use is to do. Alright then. Right over here it shows the commands that we would use. So first of all, let's do Python find me access. We would write audit, and we would put the username. I'll just copy from here. And after this, we have to list the resource that we want to try to access. And in my case, and in majority of them, it would probably be the Azure Management API. So we can copy this and do -r r space, put this over here. And what we want to do is we want to try all user agents. So for that, we would just do tac ua all. Perfect. Now it should prompt us for a password, and we'll just copy the password that we got here. Paste that in, and it will start doing its authentication attempts. And you'll see over here the minus means that it failed, MFA was required, and plus means it worked. And this could take some time, so we'll have to wait for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and pause until this finishes. Okay, there was no need to pause because it's already done. So this is it. Now let's do Notepad and open this file. And it shows us all the user agents that worked, right? Which didn't require MFA. And we can see over here, this is it. Oh, sorry, not this. This is the device. And this is the user agent. The device, user agent. And we're going to try each one by one to see which one works. We'll start off with the top one. We can copy this whole thing over here. And again, we're going to use a tool. And this one would be a user agent switcher. If you go all the way down, we can just delete this. I'm going to make a new one. We'll put the user agent over here and we'll call this something. So we'll call this, why is it not working? Do Android Chrome to see if this one works. Perfect. And we'll also name this as Adrian. So one by one, we're going to try which one works. Now, the same place where it failed, we'll now do something different. We'll now use the user agent. Actually, first I'll keep it as default. And we'll try again with the default one. Sign in. And it asks us for our token. Now from here, we'll just go here and change this to our Adrian section. Click this, and we'll see it's Android Chrome now. Click this, and it does ask for the code, but we're just going to use another account and try it again like this. Sign in, and this should not be happening. Let's go try another one of this. Let's go cancel, and let's go here and put another one. Going back to this, Chrome OS. Let's try this. Chrome OS, and we'll put another one as well. Windows Phone. And we'll put another one here. Android Chrome. Hopefully one of these works. Copy, paste. Put this here, 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 and we're good to go. So back to our sign-in page. Let's try another one. Let's try Windows Phone now. And ask for us again. I'm just curious if maybe we should like clear our cache or something. I just want to try all of them in this setting just for the learning experience. Okay. All right then. Um, let's go to Azure portal. Portal.azure. Okay, and we logged in just like that. And we used our first one. I'm going to sign out to actually demonstrate this. So, where's the sign out button? And I'm going to use the default one first. This one, and password in, and it asks us for this to enter the code. Now let's go to portal.azure again. Let's go to another one. Okay. Let's go ahead and switch this. It should still work. Nope. Maybe I should just refresh this. That is very strange. So when I write this over, it goes inside of it. Oh well, it should still work even though you're logging in. I kind of do want to show you that as well. I know that most of you guys watch this to learn, so I really want to show it to you practically. Okay, we're at that user agent, we still have it. We can log in like that, enter our password, state sign in, and there we go, it worked now. So yep, we can see all the resources by clicking this. And this is one of our resources. Project Oakley, and it's a container app. Container apps have a lot of things that we can check for, such as secrets that they store. If I go to container app enumeration, I have a lot of commands. But yeah, let's see now. Looking at this notes, we are at the okay. Now before I go into container apps, let me demonstrate road recon first. Let me check the time on this video. 30 minutes. Damn, this is going to be quite a long video. So let's go back here and just write deactivate. And yeah, let's use this for road recon. Okay, I don't think it's here. There we go, road recon. And bin source bin activate. Perfect. So we can remove this caps file and just start now. So one of the things that we did is that we logged in using our user agent. Now the thing is, how are we going to log in into Azure CLI and how are we going to log into PowerShell and all of that now, or even Graph, Microsoft Graph and stuff? Well, there's a trick to do that. First, we'll start off with explaining on Road Recon, and one of the ways is to use road auth device token. So each one of the Azure CLI, Azure PowerShell has a option to use the device code, which will be then we'll use our browser, which has this user agent selected. So yeah, let's do this first. Road recon auth device code, and we are going to go over here, device login. Let's take this. It's signed in, and we still have our user agent selected that we found, and we'll just click on continue. and it should have worked. Perfect. Now let's get the tokens. First we got to do, not the tokens, but first we got to do road recon gather, and then we are going to get the conditional access policies. And the reason is because I want to explain the setting that's configured on this user that allows this whole thing to happen. And which is why it's very important to look for MFA gaps. Firefox caps. Okay, that's fine. You know what, let me just deactivate this. It's already running? How? It's not running? Oh, it is running. Never mind. Perfect. So let's look at the user that we have over here, which is Adrian Taylor. So as we can see, it involves all resources. When it comes to including devices where MFA would be enabled, controls right over here, requirements, MFA, is iOS, Windows, Windows Phone, Mac OS, Linux, and one of them is Android, and that's one of the user agents that we're using. Yes, it did give us options for other things, Windows Phone, Chrome OS, over here, but the thing is that sometimes they don't work, sometimes they do, so it's like, that's why I was trying like multiple of them, and eventually one could get through, and in our case it did. It was actually the first one. I'm not sure about how resilient or how robust Find Me Access is, if these would work or not. I mean, it's worth a try. We can actually do this right now, actually. Let's go ahead. But yeah, this is the case. We'll try the Windows Phone one. So let's go back over here and go here and Windows Phone right here. Let's click refresh. This is something I didn't test myself, and I just want to see. Client, blah, 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 and I think it's because, please refresh your credentials, and I think it's because of this. Let's sign out. Let's try to log back in. Windows Phone. And it worked. Okay, wow. So I'm guessing it's pretty robust then. But yeah, some user agents, basically what this does, it's, where is it? It filters by specific user agents, and some of them are not filtered, and this itself is like, you would change this to something like all platforms to make it more secure. But in this case, they selected each one individually, which allowed some user agents to bypass this. If you use this on all platforms, then it would restrict every type of user agents that we have seen over here. All of these would be restricted. Okay, so yeah, now that is done with. Now let's log in. So I'm going to use my PowerShell to log in, and we'll use AZ login with the device code method. So let's copy this, and let us go here and close this tab. Take this code, and click this, and we are good to go. Close this, and there, let's just select one for that subscription. Let's do clear, AZ account show to check if we're logged in, and we are as Adrian.Taylor, and yeah. So continuing on from this, let's first enumerate the resources that our user has access to. So let's go ahead and do resources. Let's get out of this directory and list all the resources. Now we have access to one resource called container apps. Container apps, they run like some type of apps on a container. Easy way to explain it. And the thing that's special about these container apps is they usually have an identity, a managed identity, just like our user would have an identity in Entra ID. Container apps are those types of yeah, they pretty much have an identity. And to confirm that, we can run a command over here. Let me just get it out. Container app enumeration. Copy this again, paste. And this would display the identity. And as we can see, it does have an identity assigned to it. If it does not, it would say null. But yeah, in this case, we only have one thing, which is the container apps. Now let's check the permissions on this. And to do that, we would do this. Actually, first thing that we should do is get the scope of this. So let's, damn it, I hate this. Copy, paste. Since we're going to be using the scope variable, we're going to be needing this ID. So let's assign this to a variable, ID equals, and let's put this right over here. Now let's check the roles that we have on this. And let's scroll back up and get this. And why is this not working? Oh yeah, I gotta do this. Alright, so we have two types of roles, container app reader and the reader's role. These are the built-in roles, so we're going to use check for custom roles now. And we can do that with this command. I think I'm just going to do it this way. And yeah, so this is just using the custom role only true and yeah, and the scope. And it gives us three of them, which is container virtual machine custom helper, container app secret reader, and allow run commands. Now, in order to view what these roles, let me check if it's in here. Allows, yeah, Azure Managed Identity allows a resource to authenticate to Azure services without storing credentials. Yep. Aha. Alright, this is also a thing I'll get to. And, alright, yeah. The thing is, I wanted a specific type of... Alright, yeah. I'll just choose ChatGPT to get to that. At least it will be used in this. So I want to see... I'll take this, copy this, and put it into ChatGPT and write... I want to view permissions on this custom role. Why is it giving me this? Let me just copy this, open another one, and try it here. Perfect. Yep, this is the command. So AZ role definition list name virtual machine custom helper. And the great thing about this role, specifically this custom role, is it gives us a command or these actions that we have, which is this and connect actions. If you don't know what these actions specifically do, I mean, put into ChatGPT or use Microsoft documentation for that. It gives quite a detail of it. Let me see over here. Let's copy this. Enable and disable Azure Service Console. Right here. Enabling least privileged access, blah, blah, blah. So yep, this is here and this is here. Connect to serial port. This is what this rule allows. And another thing we could check is these other rules, such as this. So this is not here. We'll just put this here. Give me a moment. Someone's at my door. Alright, I'm back. So here we have, it's not showing up over here. Let's go back. Okay, yep. So we have it here. Execute a predefined script on the virtual machine. And I'm pretty sure it can do more than that. But pretty much, yeah, we can connect to the serial port, which is what I wanted to show you guys. You can also use ChatGPT. Don't be afraid to use that. And yeah, let's connect to this. And since this is a managed identity and all of that, it's going to have a certain type of environment variables as well. But before we connect to this, I actually want to show two things. So one of the things is that you could enumerate the secrets of this, which just give this value over here. So we can, I'm first going to show it from the portal, and then I'll show it from the command line. Going to settings, not settings, security and secrets. Just this account key, and we can click this and it will show us the value over here. And what we should do is pretty much save this. You know, it could come in handy during when we're enumerating inside. So save this somewhere. And the next thing is, how would we view this using a command? So what I'm going to do is this. This is good enough. Let's go here. And AZ container app secret list. This will list the container apps, and it will also, list the secrets and also show us the values of these. And the thing is, I gotta change this group. The group that's used is going to be right over here. And the name is this. And this also gives us the secret values. So yeah, moving on from this, let's log into this container, or this, container app, and we can log in using this. Perfect. We have access to the underlying system pretty much. ID, and we are root as well, and we can run our basic commands. And the one thing that we should look for is environment variables. So the key thing about this is we should know two types of environment variables exist for these type of container apps, which do have a managed identity. If they do have a managed identity, then they're going to have two types of environment variables, which is identity headers and identity endpoint. This name of these variables are always going to be the same if they have a managed identity pretty much. If you go here, these environment variables allow applications to request a token as the managed identity. So since this is a managed identity, they can request a token just like any other user. So we can see these variables are defined, and the two ones are identity header and identity endpoint. And we can request a token using this command over here. And remember, we should be inside of the console when we're running this. And we're going to be requesting the token for the manage.azure.com service. So clicking enter, and we get our access token over here. So yeah. Now for this specific CTF, we can now exit out of this. And what we can do is log into the management Azure um, yeah, access, sorry, I'm stuttering a lot, but we can access this using this access token, and we can't really do that from Azure CLI, but we can do that with Azure PowerShell pretty much. And the command to do this would be to do access token login right over here. So let's take this first and put this in a variable. And it's right here, access underscore token equal perfect. And we'll go ahead and write this over here. For the account ID, you can put whatever you want. So I'll change this to nothing. And there we go. We are now logged in as this identity. And the thing that we can do now is get AZ resource to list all the resources. Resource. Alright, so it listed all the resources, and the key thing to point out over here is this specific one. Name, project, Oakley, this, which is a database account. And yeah, one of the things that when it comes to this database, it says over here, Cosmos, Azure Table, is that these could be logged in using a string. This Microsoft documentation talks about the string. So let's just go over here. And yeah, what is the connection string that I need to use to connect to the API for the table? And all you pretty much need is the account name. Sorry, I don't think you even need the account name, nope. Yep, all you need is the account key, which is the base64 that we found in the secrets, and the table endpoint, which is going to be the account name and this domain pretty much. And that we will see over here is right here, this name for this Azure table. I want to see something over here. If I put this here, I want to enumerate this, give me commands, Azure PowerShell. Get AZ Cosmos DB account. Go ahead here. And what does this give us? Quite a lot of information. Again, documents Azure, endpoint, Sorry, I'm just going off script because I'm curious to check what this actually would give. Account key as well. I don't think they would give us the account key. I think we already, that's the base64 thing, right? So let's see if this would actually give us that as well. Nope. Does not have authorization to perform this action. It's all good. And this connection string. This is, let's see if we have access to this. Just check. Alright, so it just doesn't exist. Alright, but yeah. Now this database can be accessed via this URL. So we can use this cosmos.azure.com to log into this database. Since we have all the things that we need, we have the name for the table mentioned over here. We can log into this. I want to get the fully qualified domain, right? Get Let's see. Oh, it uses document endpoint right there. Interesting. But not in this case. We won't be using this. Just double check. String table Cosmos. Nope. So we're not going to be using that. But yeah, back here we can connect to this. Connect to your account with the connection string. And we would just use this, which I have saved. The account key over here is the base 64 that we found, and the table endpoint is this dot table cosmos dot azure, and that's pretty much it. Let's copy this and paste it in here, connect. And we're able to connect to this, and over here it will show us the flag. You can just go through this and you will get the flag. So yeah, that is it for the video. You can also use Azure Storage Explorer. That's something I want to check out. Azure Storage Explorer. Okay, I'm going to need. Okay, connect. Yeah, I don't know how to use this. Sorry. Pretty much you can use that, but I don't know like how that would work. All right, but yeah, apparently you could use that. I just don't know how. Connect to Azure Resource. Connection key. This does look promising. Account name is required. We can go back to the documentation. Account name, and this would be the same thing as this. So we can go here, copy this, paste this here. This is not the account key, bro. And over here we gotta add this. Let's see if this works. I'm kind of just winging this at this point. It says successfully connected. View Azure resources. Let's cancel this. Okay, so seems like we kind of did connect. Yep, and that is monitored IPs over here. Perfect. So we kind of winged it and we got it to work. Anything else? Well, that is kind of it, honestly. Hope you guys learned something and enjoyed, and make sure to turn off your Azure VM. That is pretty much it. See ya.